So I will just edit the previous pattern what we have created from the model tree by clicking on edit definition, and you can see that you can visibly see the pattern what we have created. So under the dimensions, we can observe over here that we have selected the dimension 10 units. So this dimension corresponds to the outer edge or the left side edge with the center of the circles. I'll just try to click on it by using the right click command button. I'll just remove it. And imagine if I would have selected the extrusion length of the geometry. So what will happen right now? The moment I'm selecting the dimension, it is asking me to enter the incremental value. Just let me keep a random value, say for example 15. Now in what direction will the pattern be created? Will it be created on the right hand side or on the bottom side or on the other side of the geometry? So according to the analogy, we have selected this dimension which is on the y-axis. Imagine this is the y-axis. So the next feature or the next instance will be created corresponding to the dimension itself. So I'll just press OK, and you may observe that I will be having multiple cylinders placed upon each other. I'll just press OK, and you can see there are 5 cylinders or the 5 extruded feature which are placed over each other. So the selection of the dimension is very crucial in this particular pattern because that corresponds to the direction of the pattern to be created. So I'll just go back to dimension. I'll remove the dimension what we have selected. I will select a new dimension. Say for example, in this case, let me select the other reference. So I've selected 40 units and it is asking me to give an incremental value. So let me just try to give an incremental value of say 15 units. And you can see that I'm getting a dots on the left hand side of the model. But I do not want the particular pattern to be in the air, okay? I want it to be on the surface of the base. So what do I do right now? How do I change the direction of the pattern features? I can simply just click on the increment over here and I can write or I can add a negative symbol and press enter. So after that, this changes the direction of the pattern. Clear? So I can just press OK right now and I will be having the pattern feature on the other side or on the different direction. So this is another feature or option under the dimension pattern. Let us discuss few more interesting features. I'll again just press edit definition. Now we have seen two methods. We have patterned in the X direction. You can just consider the right side to be X direction, and we have patterned on the negative Y direction. Okay, if I want to pattern on both the sides, I want a geometry to be repeated on the X axis and Y axis as well. So what do I do in that particular case? You can find an option over here, first direction, second direction. So currently we are working with the first direction. That means we are selecting only one direction. We are either selecting the X axis or we are selecting the Y axis. I mean, in this particular case, we are selecting the negative Y axis because we have entered the value as negative. Okay. But on the whole, we are selecting either the X axis for the first direction or the Y axis for the first direction. Now we have an option called as second direction. So using this particular option, we can create the pattern in both the axes. So we can simply click over here, or else we can go to dimension and click over here, right? Now for this particular axis or the negative Y axis, we have selected the 40 dimension what we have from the central plane. Now for the X axis, I will be selecting the 10 units. So I'll just click over here and I can vary the incremental value. Let it be 20 units. So you can see I am getting new dots over here which corresponds to the instance which will be created after pressing OK. Now we can change the number of members in X direction as well. Currently in the Y axis we have 6 members. If you're wanting, we can reduce one. I'll just keep it 6. But in the X axis, I'll just try to keep it 10. And I'll just press OK right now. and you can see there are plenty of features or instances patterned. It is looking like a Lego basically. And jokes apart, this particular feature is very interesting. I mean, it has very interesting features or options. And one more thing what we can do right now, for example, if we are not wanting few blocks in the middle, okay, I'm just calling it as a block. So if you're not wanting this particular block in the middle, so I can just click on this option and press OK. So you can see the dots which I have selected are hidden right now and they're not visible on the screen. I can do that again. So you can see the change in the appearance, and you can see the blocks which are present and which are not present. I mean, you can see the difference between them. When I'm selecting, it is changing. So this will be more clearly visible in your computer. And press OK. So you will not be having those features which we have deselected. So this is another feature in dimension pattern. Let us move on and discuss few more features in dimension pattern.